Alright, so I've been getting a lot of questions on Instagram about my Glowshift gauges that I have in my truck. So being we're in this quarantine and I'm bored at home, figured I'd make a quick video on these. So these are my gauges. The one on the left here is a Glowshift gauge, and that's vacuum. And then the one on the right, still made by Glowshift, but it's a max toe gauge. I got that one just because it's the digital and the analog gauge, and that's for my trans temp. So for these, I know a lot of people go with the pillar gauges there, but this empty radio pocket really wasn't doing much for me, so I kind of wanted to utilize that space. And I was scrolling through online just looking at stuff for gauges, and there's a guy through eBay that 3D prints a piece of plastic that goes flush in that hole, and it hooks up to your stock screw points, I guess you could say, where the radio pocket would screw in. And it's got two holes in it, but they're for 2 5/8 gauges, I believe, I want to say, and the Glowshift are 2 1/16. So what I did is I put that in there, and then I took a piece of sheet metal and I measured 2 1/16, and I cut holes in the sheet metal, that smaller diameter for these gauges to fit, and then I just wrapped the sheet metal with a carbon fiber vinyl, and then I just pop riveted the sheet metal to the plastic piece that was 3D printed. So now, I mean, I know this dash piece is kind of angled, so it's not perfect, but now that pocket is filled, and I now have two gauges that are easily seen from the driver's seat. And then, so when I turn the key here, you can see the gauges come on. Looks like tranny's still a little touch warm from driving it. But I got the vacuum gauge just because, well, I did that intake manifold, you know, and all that other stuff, and it's just nice to see vacuum. And then obviously, of course, 4L60 tranny temp's always nice to see. And then the way I wired it is when I hit my lights over here, and my lights come on, they dim. You can see that. And then the vacuum gauge is 7 different colors. I just keep them both on blue because the max toe one, oh, I guess that's switching. There, that should be it, because the max toe one is blue. Now the way I have these wired is you get a T connector with the vacuum gauge, and this vacuum line is for the cruise control. So I just put the T connector here, just zip tied and all that to be safe. And then this clear vacuum line I have running up through the firewall there. And that's what gets you the readout for your vacuum. Tranny temp, on the 4L60s, there's a test port on the side. I don't really want to crawl under there right now. But you just unscrew the little cap on your test port, and then there's a bung that slides in there, and then you have a wiring harness that comes down from your gauge, and you just plug it in. So that's pretty simple as well. How I did it here, kind of hard to see in the fuse box here. So honestly, I forget which is which off the top of my head right now, but I have power wires wired to the ignition. So like you saw when I turned the key, the gauges come on. And then I have the wires for the lights on the gauges, the dimmer wires, hooked to my headlight, running light fuse in here. So again, yeah, when my running lights and headlights come on, the gauges automatically dim then. So that's how that's wired. And here it'll give you a shot of starting the truck. So there you can see the vacuum gauge. that's that. And that's it for the gauges shutting off. Another thing we did when installing these gauges is now my radar detector. I'm sure you noticed when I turned the key that automatically came on. We didn't drill in the dash at all, but this piece lifts up a little bit and the wires ran down in there. And then that's hardwired down to my ignition too. So again, turn the key, radar detector automatically goes on and off. So that's that. My wire's not running down here and into my cigarette lighter plugged down there. So that's a lot cleaner now. And then also my switches here. These two do not do anything at the moment. But then this, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it when I turn it on, but this is for the electric radiator fans. So just got the electric fans there. And that's about it for that. So yeah, so that's my gauges. I hope this helps for people that had questions on the gauges. I tried to answer them on Instagram and stuff like that. But really it wasn't too hard to install. It actually went pretty simple. And then, like I said, I'll drop a link in the description for the part on eBay that guy 3D prints. I believe it's only like 25 or 30 bucks or something like that. It's really not that bad, and it turns out pretty nice. So yeah, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated as always. And I'll try to come up with some more videos to do during this quarantine.